The air hung heavy, thick with dreams and fear. Selma, Alabama, a place where hope wore steel and carried the weight of generations.
We marched for our brothers and sisters, denied the right to vote, denied their dignity, marching for our children so they wouldn't inherit this burden of hate.
The year, 1965. But the ghosts of slavery still lingered, whispering in the wind that whipped through the trees. We, the inheritors of their struggle, found strength in each other's eyes, in the shared songs of freedom that rose from our throats. This wasn't just a march, it was a prayer set to the rhythm of our ancestors. John Lewis, young and fearless, his voice a beacon, urged us forward, a soldier of peace, armed with unwavering faith and the righteousness of our cause. Martin Luther King Jr., his words a soothing balm on our raw nerves, reminded us that our weapon was love, our shield was courage. The pavement vibrated with our steps, a steady drumbeat against injustice. Every stride a testament to our ancestors, their sacrifices fueling our resolve. We were a chorus of voices, united in our song of freedom, our chants echoing through the streets of Selma. With every breath we inhaled hope, exhaled fear. Then, the Edmund Pettus Bridge, a steel monster looming, a gateway to another world. The air crackled, thick with tension. Our steps faltered, the song of freedom catching in our throats. A sea of angry white faces stood before us, their faces grim.
The music of hope echoed in our hearts, a gospel jazz symphony for freedom that no amount of hate could silence. We knew then, with unwavering certainty, that this was just the beginning. The fight for equality had just found its rhythm, a rhythm that would shake the very foundations of America. We would march again. We would overcome. Because we, the children of Selma, were the music of hope, and our song would not be denied. That day, on that bridge, the world witnessed our struggle. The blood that stained the pavement became a sacred ink, etching our story onto the pages of history. Though our march was halted, our spirits remained unbroken.
The Selma March in 1905 was a pivotal moment in the American Civil Rights Movement, epitomizing the struggle for voting rights. Among the key figures were religious leaders whose moral authority and unwavering commitment galvanized support across racial and religious lines. Martin Luther King Jr., a Baptist minister, emerged as a central leader, embodying the faith-driven activism that characterized the movement. Alongside him were leaders like Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel and Reverend C.T. Vivian, who faced the brutality of opposition with courage and resilience. They marched from Selma to Montgomery, confronting violent resistance, armed police, and harsh conditions. The atmosphere was charged with determination, as thousands joined in prayer and song, united by a shared vision of equality. The march led to the Voting Rights Act of 1965, a landmark victory that transformed the political landscape for African Americans. The religious leaders' commitment to justice illuminated the path forward, intertwining faith with activism, and their legacy continues to inspire movements for justice today. The Selma March stands as a testament to the power of collective action fueled by moral conviction, embodying the struggle for civil rights in America. The Selma Marches of 1965 were a defining moment in the civil rights movement, showcasing the relentless spirit of women who fought for justice. Among them were figures like Amelia Boynton, a steadfast leader who was one of the first to plan the march from Selma to Montgomery. On March 7th, known as Bloody Sunday, women joined thousands of others, determined to make their voices heard despite knowing the dangers. They faced violent opposition from law enforcement, who used tear gas and clubs to disperse the crowd. Yet, women's resilience shone through. Diane Nash, a prominent activist, helped organize the march and was instrumental in mobilizing support. The tenacity of women like Nash and Boynton not only organized protests, but also inspired countless others to join the fight. Their presence was crucial in demanding voting rights, which eventually led to the Voting Rights Act of 1965. The women of Selma embodied courage and commitment, proving that their contributions were vital to the movement's success. Their stories remind us that the fight for equality cannot be told without acknowledging the strength and sacrifice of women at the forefront of change.
Don't forget to subscribe and push that like button.
On March 7, 1965, the Selma March began with a powerful call for voting rights. Spearheaded by Martin Luther King Jr. and other civil rights leaders. As demonstrators marched across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, they were met with brutal opposition. The marchers, predominantly African American, sought to highlight the systemic oppression they faced, demanding the right to vote. The atmosphere was charged with hope and determination. But as they reached the bridge, they encountered Alabama state troopers prepared for confrontation. Without warning, the troopers unleashed violent force upon the peaceful protesters. The brutality was shocking. Marchers were beaten and tear-gassed, with many injured or traumatized. The images of the violence broadcasted nationwide shocked the conscience of America. This incident, known as Bloody Sunday, galvanized public opinion and increased support for the civil rights movement. It led to President Lyndon B. Johnson proposing the Voting Rights Act, which aimed to dismantle legal barriers preventing African Americans from voting. This pivotal moment in Selma's history secured King's legacy as a champion of justice and highlighted the urgent need for civil rights reform. Please support this channel by subscribing and hitting that like button. Thank you.